Today is Tuesday, February 5th, 2019. My name is Edna Sussman. I'm a reference librarian here at the Half Hollow Hills Community Library. We're interviewing George Hudak, a Vietnam Air Force veteran, as part of our Veterans Testimonial Project and in collaboration with the Library of Congress's Veterans History Project. Thank you so much, George, for your service and being willing to participate in our project today.
Thank you.
George, where and when were you born?
I was born in Astoria, New York, in 1948.
And who were your parents? What were their names and occupation?
My dad, Frank, worked for Pan American World Airways for 40 years. And my mom worked as a retail.
Is that why you joined the Air Force, because he had a plane history?
Well, before I went into the service, I also worked at Pan Am in the print
did?
shop. Yeah, because I took printing in high school.
Really?
Yeah, so Pan Am had their own print shop.
Oh, okay. So did you have any siblings?
I have an older sister and two younger brothers.
Were any of them in the military?
None of them were in the service, no.
What were their names?
My sister's Linda, my brother Frank, and Roger.
So what were you doing before you entered the service?
Well, after high school, I didn't want to really waste my parents' money going to college because I knew college was not for me. I could tell a little joke because I wanted to be a marine biologist because I had a below sea average.
Like Seinfeld episode.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I said, no, I'm going into the service. And when I got out of the service, then I went to Farmingdale and I was there for about 3 years. And the wife said at that time, you're spending too much time in the books, you got to stop. So,
Really?
Yeah.
So you didn't finish the degree?
I got about 40 credits, 36 to 40 credits, yeah. So.
Did you have a goal of studying a certain
No.
thing?
No.
So you served in the Air Force, right?
Yes.
So you enlisted?
I enlisted in '68. I went to Amarillo Air Force Base for basic training
Why did you pick the Air Force?
because I always liked planes. I always built model planes since I was a little kid.
Really?
Built model airplanes.
Nice. Okay. So you enlisted, and what happened when you departed for training camp? You said that was in '68?
Yeah. Right, '68. Left Fort Hamilton, went down to Amarillo, Texas. And that was basic training for about 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like all the other, except my daughter says, "Oh, you were in the country club," which is
Why
they were
is
a little.
that?
It seems like the Air Force has a stigma to it that they're easy. They get off easy. They get the better food. They get everything is easy. It comes easy to them. You don't have to be out in the 24/7 outside.
On
We
the
have
other hand-
beds. We have rooms.
Oh, but there's quite a danger going up in a fighter plane.
Well, I wasn't in I fixed fighters.
Oh, you
I was
fixed
an
fighters.
electrician. All I did is fix all the aircraft. Yeah.
Wow. So after basic, you got specialized training for
Yes,
that?
then I went to Chanute Air Force Base, Illinois, for 6 months of training, electrical systems, right, and batteries and lighting systems,
Six
different
months.
systems on a plane.
It's pretty detailed, 6 months.
After that, I went to Luke Air Force Base, Arizona, and it was so hot we very rarely spent time out on a flight line because if it's over 100 degrees, they don't let you work on a flight line.
Wow.
And it was always 100 degrees in the summertime there.
What's a flight line mean?
That's where the planes are parked.
Oh, okay.
All right? They put up the red flag, you can't work on the planes.
I mean, I guess to touch a plane would be very hot. Is that
Very,
the
very
problem?
hot, yeah.
Uh-huh.
You could fry an egg on them. Yeah,
Wow,
that's
really?
how hot it is, yeah. You can't touch the metal.
Do you recall that your instructors for any of the training, what were they like?
The instructors for training, they were like going to school. They were just like teachers. Yeah. Yeah, there's an assignment, do the assignment, come back, we'll discuss it tomorrow on different systems. And it was like just going to school, like going to school, you go to school, you go home, you study, and the rest of the time was yours.
What was it like adjusting to military life, the barracks and
I
food?
asked the drill sergeant once when we were just finishing up boot camp, and they said, you can ask me any question you want. They took us one-on-one, ask me any question you want. And I said, well, why are you always yelling? Drill instructors yell to
Right.
get the point across. The reason he told me is because I have X amount of time to get your way of thinking from civilian to military. So that's where the yelling and pushing and all the details come in. Yeah.
What's the big difference between thinking as a civilian and thinking as a military?
you're self-sufficient. You pick up stuff. You put your stuff away. Everything's tidy. Everything's organized. It's not like I'll do it later. No, you do it now. Yeah.
So adjusting to that was okay for you?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
So what about social life and food? How was that?
Can't complain with the Air Force food, that's for sure. The food was great. If you didn't like what they had as a main meal, you always had hamburgers and hot dogs, milkshakes. Wow. Yeah, that's why I said we were in the country club. Yeah.
So after the basic and the specialized training was almost a year.
Right. Yes. And then the next year I went to Vietnam. After Luke Air Force Base, I had a month's leave or 2 weeks leave, whatever it was.
You went home or?
Yeah, I went home. And then went to Vietnam for 1 year, Tui Wa, Air Base right on the China Sea. So there we worked like 3 days on, 1 day off. That was a rotating shift, 3 days on, 1 day off. And I worked on fighters, F-100s, F-4s. They don't fly them anymore. Bell Huey helicopters, C-130s, transport planes, Smoky gunship, and any transit airplane that came on base, if they had a wire manual, we worked on it, we fixed it.
Wow.
So
you had to learn all those different planes. How do you? Is there any similarity?
Really. It's like opening up the hood of a car. Really? There's the engine. You go to work on it. Yeah.
So when they've been out at war, they come back and you always have to check them? Is that how?
Well, there's this whole system because the pilot writes up stuff that there's something wrong with this, or lights are out, or check the landing gear, whatever, the system. If he writes something up, we get it eventually down in where we were off the flight line with our little office. And they say, hey, go check this, go check that, go check the batteries, go check the generator system. And since I was so small, I graduated high school when I was like 5 foot nothing, maybe 120 pounds. I almost didn't get in because I was too small.
You kidding?
No.
You mean the height?
The height and the weight.
The weight.
They didn't have uniforms that small.
Oh, you're kidding?
No.
That's great.
Yeah. So since I was so small, I'll give you one example working on the flight line in Vietnam, where on the F-100, the generator is mounted on front of the engine. So you have to crawl in through an air duct about 22 feet long to get to the engine. So you take the cover off the generator, and you're sitting there with your meter, okay, and they'd motor over the engine. Now you're sitting about 6 inches away from the motor, the engine, and that's rotating.
How awful. Isn't that kind of scary? I mean, you're right by the...
right by the blades, they were rotating,
Wow.
They had stators in the front to keep you from getting in, but the engine was right there rotating, and you're checking for voltage, to make sure the generator is putting out voltage.
So your headphones, you still have to wear headphones in there?
No.
Why?
No.
Wasn't it loud? Oh, no.
No, the engine wasn't running.
Oh.
It was just motoring over.
Oh, I see.
And then they put an air duct in there to get air conditioning in there. By the time you get out of there, you're scratching because it was all that insulation, the got in your skin, and you're scratching. So you had to go take a shower.
Wow.
And the other time was like, the only other incident that happened was we checking a drop hook on a tail hook on a 100. So one of the other electricians up in the cockpit, he had to hit a button, and I'm on there checking the voltage to make sure it'll drop. Because I had to land on plane, the drop hook. He hit the wrong button.
Oh.
Yeah, he dropped the fuel tanks.
So what happened?
Nothing. The crew chief got in trouble because he didn't put the pins in.
They didn't explode?
No, they just boom and they rolled over. Oh. Yeah.
Wow.
So those are the only two incidences that I can remember. Yeah.
When a plane would come back from whatever they had
mission.
done. A mission, right. I mean...
they call them sorties, but yeah, go ahead.
Sorties? Okay.
Yeah.
Was there sometimes a lot of damage to the planes?
Not so much electrical-wise, but they'd be shot up. Yeah, they'd have branches in their wings. That's how low they flew. And that would be metal work. They do all the metal work, repair all that.
Oh, a different group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So how far were you from the front lines?
A distance where the mountains were, maybe 10 miles away, and we were on the China Sea.
So that was kind of good protection too, being by
Well, we
the
sat
sea?
along the wall at night for Tet. We were sitting there on the perimeter at night, just in case, you know.
Guarding.
Guarding the base, yeah. And we'd hear thunder. The skies are clear. It's a warm night. That's another thing that's very funny. You have to get used to. If it's 100 and, let's say, 10, 112 degrees during the daylight, at night it dropped down to 70.
Wow.
You were cold. 70 degrees, you were cold.
Why? Because of the drop?
Yeah.
You were used to the very high heat?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you get a chill because it's 70 degrees.
That's interesting. Yeah, wow. Did you have a lot of rain over there?
That was the monsoon season for about 3 months straight. Nothing stayed dry. It was just constant rain, day and night.
The planes you fixed, were they in a hangar or outside?
Outside.
So what if it's pouring rain? What then?
They still fly.
But do you still fix them?
Yeah,
In the rain?
in the rain.
Wow. I guess you get used to that. I mean,
Do you have a choice?
no choice. Yeah, you gotta fix the planes.
That's why it rains here. They said, it's raining out. Really? You call that rain?
Those monsoons are pretty
Heavy.
heavy.
Yeah, it rained so hard, you couldn't see 20 feet in front of you. That's how
Really?
it come down in buckets. Like
Wow.
somebody opened up the faucet and it's just pouring down. Yeah.
What kind of building did you sleep and live in?
We lived in like long huts.
Was it could sustain the rains?
Oh yeah, it was metal covered like
Oh.
Quonset huts.
Oh.
But there was about 40 of us in a barracks. Yeah.
And then eating in another
In
building?
a chow hall, yeah. We had a chow hall. We had steaks. We had chicken. Again, we've got ice cream. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, our base was more like an R&R base because the South Vietnamese would work there. The Army would come in for R&R.
Why? Because
The
it was so
Marines-
nice? Or,
It was nice. It
I
was.
mean, how come the Army could use the Air Force base?
To get out of the field.
Oh, they didn't have their own.
They did, but it was not the same. Ours was like a remote beach setting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right on the sea.
Right on the sea, yeah.
Now, when you had South Vietnamese working there, how do you know if they were really not North infiltrating? Oh,
You didn't.
were they?
They were just day laborers, and that night, the sun's going down, they left. Maybe they took measurements of the base. I don't know. Nobody knows.
Okay.
But
But you didn't feel unsafe with
threatened?
them
No.
around?
No, not at all.
What sort of combat, did you witness any injuries or casualties of your?
I'm
Other
one of the lucky
servicemen?
ones that did not see anything.
Oh, good.
The only thing I could tell you I did see was like at night when it was quiet, we heard thunder, but there was no rain, nothing. What it was the USS New Jersey was off the coast on the horizon shooting shells into the mountains.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's what you were hearing?
the boom.
Boom.
We saw a flashlight on the horizon and you hear the boom. We thought it was thunder and lightning. It was the USS New Jersey off the coast.
How far was that from?
About 20 miles.
And you still heard it? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that unsettling? I mean, a little?
Well, if they came short, it would be, yeah. But they were shooting them over us into the mountains.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of friendships and camaraderie did you form while serving?
Well, the four of us electricians were all together. We worked different shifts, but we were always partying on the one day off, you know. But I'm still in contact with Doug Tungate, he's in Florida. Chad Masterson's in California. And Walter Tabolt, we sent Christmas cards. He's upstate New York.
Nice.
So
Nice.
Doug came up to visit me on an RV. And,
Were you on the base together?
Yeah, yeah.
And they were also in your group of fixing the airport?
Yes, in Vietnam, yes. And then they all went home and I went home.
Nice. That's
And then
nice you
try to
keep
get
up.
back into civilian life, yeah.
Oh, we'll get to that, but how did you stay in touch with your family and friends back home?
They had a, how would I put this? U.S. corporations would fund, through the communication center, a one-way line. And you could speak, you'd call the parents, and it's like a one-way line. You have to always say over so they could respond. It was like a one line.
A delay in time?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then they'd say something, they'd have to say over. Then I could speak. They'd say over. So it was, I called them about twice when I was there.
Really?
Yeah.
But were you writing letters?
Oh, like writing letters constantly.
Really?
Yeah.
And they wrote back to
Oh,
you?
yeah.
Yeah.
Got a lot of letters.
Yeah, I hope you kept them.
I have them home.
Yeah, that's good. You said you were on 3 days and off 1?
That was our work cycle, yeah.
So what did you do on the off day?
We were at the beach drinking.
Oh, what else?
Or with the
That's
NCO club, eating and drinking.
Non-commissioned officers?
Non-commissioned officer,
Got it.
yes.
So you showed me before some of your stripes. So you went from
Airman,
airman to sergeant.
right. I made sergeant in Vietnam.
Nice. How did you do that?
Yeah, you have to take written tests.
Do you take more training for that?
No, you study in a book.
Okay.
And it's like a test questions are in there, but it's not, they'll reword it differently, so it's not the same question. That would really make sense, yeah.
Was it, did your duties change at all because of that?
No,
No?
no,
Oh,
no.
okay.
no.
So sergeant involved more pay, probably.
Just more pay, E4, yeah.
Okay, so at any time were you ever injured or hospitalized or
No, once again, I was very lucky. I got out of there without a scratch.
really?
Yeah.
That's great. Good. I'm happy to hear
I'm
that.
happy they're here, too.
Let's see. So you got over there in 68
Yes,
and left to go home,
in 69.
69.
I was there home back in 70, and my last 2 years I was in Barksdale Air Force Base, Louisiana, Strategic Air Command. So I was working on B-52s for
Oh,
the
wow.
last 2 years.
Did you require more training for that?
No.
Huh.
It was
I'm
just,
amazed. I'm amazed. I would think they'd have their own little different
No,
things you have to know.
well, they're just a lot bigger, but there's still, a lighting is a lighting problem, landing gears have landing gear problems, generator system. They had more engines, so more generators, of course.
Did they give you the option to stay in Vietnam? Did you?
No, I didn't want to stay in Vietnam.
I bet.
There was an option, you want to go back, do another tour. I said, no, thank you.
Oh, so you could say no.
Oh, yes, yeah. But see, the difference between the Air Force and all the other branches of service that were in Vietnam, we did not go over there as a group. Every person went over there with a different rotation date.
Oh,
So I had my 365 days. The guy next to me had a different 365 days. So when you got close, you'd say you called short. I only had like a month to go. Some guy said, I only have 10 days to go. Other guy said, I got 6 months to go. So everybody went over there in the Air Force, had a different rotation date to go home.
I see.
We didn't go over there as a unit.
okay. But you then formed a unit once you were there.
Oh, once you were in your designated classifications,
Yeah,
yes.
the base.
Yeah. Electricians were all in one area. Metal workers were in another area. Engine workers were in another area. Yeah.
So when you returned home in 69, how did you get home? How did they send you home?
I flew out of Cameron Bay back to the state of Washington. And from the state of Washington, I went home to New York for about 2 weeks. Then I went back, drove my car down to Louisiana for the last 2 years.
That's where you were based, in Louisiana?
Yes, Louisiana.
How are you received by family and friends when you got home?
I would have to say really indifferent. They're glad to see me. I'm at home, but at that time, people
Yeah, Vietnam vets were not
frowned on.
appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you felt that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I hooked up with a couple of friends that I knew from Bethpage that were also in the service, and we got together. So we hung out together. You know? And to this day, I'm in touch with them, and we have monthly get-togethers.
That's nice, very nice. That must have been difficult. I mean,
I don't know, because I just got married, went back to work at Pan Am.
when you came home, you got married shortly after?
Yes.
So how did you meet up with your wife? If you,
Oh, from the service.
oh, she was in the service?
No, she lived outside the base. I know her outside.
Oh, from Louisiana?
Yeah, from Louisiana.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So after I got out of the service, we got married. And then that didn't last too long because she missed Louisiana. So she said,
Oh, you
I'm
moved
going.
back to New York?
Yeah, we moved back to New York. Yeah. So, and she didn't like that. I said, well, I'm not going to Louisiana, so.
Oh, wow, okay. You had a daughter.
We had a daughter, yeah. Yeah. She lives in Brooklyn now.
Oh,
so.
nice, not too far. How was it adjusting to civilian life for you?
That's a good question. I wish I have an answer for you. It was just a process. Take one day at a time, go back to work, and everybody was happy to see me back at work, and then...
You went to Pan Am?
Yeah, I went back to Pan Am.
Where you
in
had
the
worked
print shop, yes, before I left,
Okay.
yeah. That was union rules. You leave, you have the job when you come back.
Oh, that's great.
So
Nice.
now I left with 2 years seniority. I come back with 6 years seniority.
Oh, they counted your years
yeah,
in
years of
service.
service as-
Very nice.
yeah.
That's good.
So
How long did you work at Pan Am?
26 years,
Wow.
until 91. They went out of business.
Yep. Nice.
And then I went and got my CDL license. I drove over the road for 4 years driving tractor trailers.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, from Maine to North Carolina to Ohio.
Wow.
That whole northeast section of the country. I called up Coca-Cola, said, come down, take a road test. I did. They said, you're our boy. And I've been with them for another 20 years.
Wow.
So I retired from
Wonderful.
Coca-Cola.
Very nice. What made you want to do commercial driving?
Well, I like to cook a lot, but to become a chef, when Pan Am closed, I had a grant. I could do whatever I wanted. What do you want to retrain as? I said, well, I want to be a chef. He says, well, that'll take about 2 years. And the unemployment was running out. So why try something else? I said, I tried tractor trailers. So 6-month course, they paid for it. It was a grant.
Who paid for it? The Pan Am?
Pan Am paid for it, yeah.
Nice.
And got my license, and the rest is me 4 years retired now.
Very nice. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Nice. So you still in contact with some fellow veterans? Are you
Yes.
a member of any veterans organizations?
I happen to be the current commander of the Bethpage VFW post, Bethpage, New York.
Very nice. How do you think your wartime experiences affected your life?
I don't think it really did. I spent time at the Stony Brook Veterans Home because I have friends there. I volunteer at the VA Northport Hospital once a month.
Oh, that's nice.
And looking at the veterans that are there, it affects me. But in real life, with daily routine stuff, I don't think it has, except for being neat.
Okay, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, when you didn't know when you went in you would be sent to Vietnam, or did you know you would?
No, I did not. That's why I think I chose the Air Force, not better than the Marines or the Army. Yeah, because they were going over there as soon as they graduated. You know where they were going.
Yeah. Are you afraid a little?
No, I don't think so. I graduated high school in '66, and my parents said, no, you're not going into service. And I said, oh, yes, I am.
Why didn't they want you to?
Because of the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
So I had to wait till I was 18, because I was 17 when I graduated. I couldn't do
okay.
anything. So at 18, I went and saw the recruiter. He said, you're in.
Wow.
I said, parents, I said, I'm going in the Air Force. I said, okay.
Wow. That must have been hard for them when you were over there for a year.
I think now that my daughter was in the service, I know how they feel. Yeah.
Where is she? Which branch?
She's in the Navy, just got out of the Navy. She was on the USS Nimitz, the aircraft carrier out of Seattle. So
How long was she in for?
4 years.
She enlisted?
Yes.
I guess so. There's no draft. Yeah. No draft for women anyway. But so now, how do you mean you know how your parents felt?
Because I really was worried for my daughter,
Yeah.
going through basic training and going out in the Pacific.
Yeah.
I know nobody was shooting at her. Yeah, not that I
Well,
know
something
of.
can happen at any time.
Yes.
You never know. I mean, there's so many military accidents too.
Yes, there are.
It doesn't even
I
have
asked her about that. She says, nobody's driving, nobody has radar. The ships are banging into one another. Yeah.
Oh, good. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad she's okay. It's good of her to serve too. You think she served enlisted because of your service?
That might have a reasoning to it, yeah, because after high school, she was EMT, and she said, Dad, I'm tired of this. What can I do? I said, go into service. So
You
she went
did?
into service.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Why'd she pick the Navy?
I don't know. I never asked her.
Okay.
But when she got out, she's back at Olympia College in Washington. She's studying for a nurse now. Because
No kidding.
She was EMT
Yep.
for a long period of time, and she says, I know how to systems of the body. I'll become a nurse.
Very
so
nice.
she's going back to college, and she's not paying anything
'Cause the
because she was in the
service
service.
Wow.
She's getting everything's paid for.
That's great. That's great. Was she in the medical area in the Navy? I mean, yeah.
No,
in the
she
Navy.
was a gunner's mate. She was shooting 50 caliber machine guns off the back of the deck.
Wow. Wow. But she still had an interest in the medical field
Yes.
from before.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Shooting a gun, the only job you can get is rob a bank, you know. So.
Right. It's not too productive at all.
Or military police, yeah.
Right, right. So what are some life lessons you think you learned from military service?
Oh. Patriotism, the American flag. What's going on now, it's disgraceful. The thing with taking a knee and what they're teaching in school now it's horrible.
Yeah. I often wonder how, I mean, I feel the same way you do, but I didn't serve, how servicemen and women feel about that. It must be difficult to see.
Yeah.
So how do you think your military service impacted your feelings about war and the military in general?
Well, me being overseas, and I was in like, you'd call it a safe zone, the president has a tough job sending troops over, you know, and I wouldn't want to be in his shoes.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably necessary when it's done.
It is. It's a necessary evil, yeah.
So I just want to go back for a second. When you just said you were in a safe zone, but really being in Vietnam anywhere isn't totally safe, right?
Well, you're right. Just everybody thanks me for being a Vietnam vet, and I'd say thank you. And I was there, but you have to realize where I was. I was on the China Sea, and the mountains were 10 miles away with nothing but flat land and rice paddies. Yeah.
The mountains separated north and south?
No. Inland were the mountains,
Right.
and that was like 10 miles away. So if they were coming from the mountains, it'd take them all night to travel 10 miles.
Oh, I see.
So the sun would be coming up, and
They'd be seen. Or
it was quiet, yeah. There was villages around, and they had to see the little rice boats out there, fishing boats out on the sea.
that part of the sea where you were?
Yeah.
I mean, was it possible for the North to infiltrate that? Or I guess we kept guard. There were always people
Oh,
watching.
yeah, we had towers on the beach. It was like going to Jones Beach. Yeah.
But they still had to watch out.
Yeah.
And make
yeah.
sure nobody came that wasn't supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a message you might like to leave for future generations that might view this interview?
For interviews. I'd have to think on that, but I don't have any at this present time.
Okay. Was there anything you did during your service that maybe you regretted, or something that, you know, either you learned that took you later on in life that helped you?
Maybe I should have went to college out of high school. I don't know. That would have changed everything.
Well, when you went you went to Farmingdale.
Yes.
The service paid for that.
Yes.
Right? Oh, so too bad you didn't finish. I mean, that you would have been paid for, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But you had a good career doing
Yeah.
all you did.
I did. I can't complain about anything.
Yeah.
No regrets.
No regrets. That's
No
wonderful.
regrets.
It's wonderful. Is there anything you feel we haven't discussed or you'd like to add? Something we missed? You showed me so many medals that you got.
Well, Okay, I got a few medals, not a whole bunch, not like, I don't have a Purple Heart because I didn't get injured.
Right.
The only thing I could add to that is that I am the current chaplain of the Nassau County Council. And the Nassau County Council is comprised of all the posts in Nassau County.
The VFW post.
The VFW posts, yes.
Wow. How did you get to do
I was
that?
nominated. I said, what do I have to do?
Yeah.
Say the prayers. And when there's a service, I had, like, Luke called me a little while ago. We have another service for a veteran.
Who passed away?
Who passed away,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Do you have a religious background, or?
No. No, not really.
very nice
He just
to
said,
do
just say
that.
the prayers. I said, okay.
Nice. How big is your group, VFW
The
there?
VFW post in Bethpage, we have 49 members, but I'd say 2/3 of them are in different states. And we have maybe 7 or 8 that go to meetings.
Oh,
So
that's a shame.
it's a shame because we can't get any members to join from the Gulf War on.
Yeah.
Kuwait, Iraq, Afghanistan, they don't want to join.
Why do you think that is?
I think they have a life. They have to go to work. They have family. They have bills. You know, most of our guys are retired. The oldest one on my post now, Buddy, is 98
No. Wow.
and sharp as a whip.
Really? Where did he serve?
He was a World War II theater, Italy, B-24 navigator.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I guess young people too have social media. They communicate with each other. But it's a shame because your organizations always do so many good things.
Good. We do poppy donations. That's
Yeah.
to get money to come in. But going out, we make donations to a lot of charities, the National Home for the Widows and Orphans. And then we just hold we don't even do the Veterans Day Parade anymore because we
No
don't have enough
kidding.
guys.
Oh, that's a shame.
Pearl Harbor, we don't do that anymore because we don't have enough guys.
Wow.
The only thing we do is like the St. Patty's Day Parade was only a couple of us that march because they're all in their 80s and 90s. They don't march. And then with Memorial Day, we have a big ceremony for Memorial Day.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. What about Veterans Day?
Nothing.
Nothing.
We don't do anything for Veterans Day either anymore. We don't have the members.
That's a shame. Well, I'm glad you're running it, and then maybe it'll increase a little. But anything else that you'd like to add that we haven't covered?
No, I think you pretty much covered everything.
Yeah.
Can't think of anything left out.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, George, for your service again, and thank you so much for sharing all your memories.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.